Taking time every day to learn a new skill is one of the best habits you can ever develop as a person. I personally like to watch finance videos, finance success stories about some of the most powerful people in, like the history of humankind, so to say. One of the most remarkable things that I've actually noticed is that none of them ever emphasize on how failure is important, how the relationship you have with failure says a lot about how much you can achieve as a person. Let me be honest, I'm not expert in success or whatever. Here's how I feel like I have credibility to talk about failure. I grew up in Africa in one of the most poor neighborhoods. I was like gang affiliated. I almost became an addict. Right now, I'm actually an engineering student and I live in Europe. This is the person that you are today. And this is the person that you aspire to be. It's like these are your dreams and this is you. As you can see, there's a huge gap between the two. So it means that for you to move from point A to point B, there's a lot of work in between. You just can't get from point A to point B. That's just not how it works. You have to do a lot of work to actually get to be the person that you aspire to be. If you're not already catching on, this means that there's a lot of failing that you're going to go through for you to actually be the person that you aspire to be. Here's the simplest question. Ask yourself this simple question. The person that you are today, is he or is she capable or good enough? Does he or she have the capacity to actually have or be the person that you envision yourself to be? I don't really know if that came out the way I wanted to, but here's the thing though. If you picture yourself as a rich person or whatever you have in future, ask yourself this. Do you actually have the capacity to actually be that person? Because you see, success and wealth isn't a point. It's a process, it's a journey. And this is what most people don't really get. The most important thing about the journey is it teaches you, you learn a lot from failure than you do from success. I understand failure from a perspective of I didn't do something right this time around. There's something that I didn't understand. And honestly, the best way you can look at failure is a delay for the purpose of the process to mold you into the person that can actually handle the kind of vision that you want to have, This is the reason why if you want to be a failure, you don't need to do anything. You just need to sit down. That's just it. But if you want to be somebody, you need to go through a process that's going to change you, Failure is, change. If you look at failure as change and as a lesson that can guide you to become the person that you are, it's really going to help you a lot. As I mentioned earlier, grew up, in one of the poor neighborhoods in Africa. My family was poor. I was the middle child. And even though I had a lot of setbacks, I realized that if I needed to change my situation, I needed to first prioritize myself by changing my mindset. I was raised to think that failure is the end point of a journey. Failure is, like the inability to achieve a goal, and that's just it. But I think that's actually the reason why poor people stay poor, because of the relationship they have with failure. Poor people have a high risk factor. If they risk something and do not achieve the desired goal, it means that they have lost out, That's the reason why poor people do not take chances, and therefore they stay poor, But if you have, if you're in a position of actually just pursuing your dreams or whatever it is that you need to, that you want to, achieve, you need to tell yourself from the very first moment that failure is not the end. I will likely fail at some point. There's going to be days when things will not go right, but that says nothing about the person that I want to be. That says nothing about the things that I want to achieve, but rather it says a lot about how I still need to go through the process of learning a thing or two before I actually achieve the things that I want. So failure is nothing negative. Failure is actually something that's necessary for you to, achieve the things that you want. So if you fail, for me, I actually think I'm doing something right. The thing that I'm doing is that I'm going to the right direction, but there's something I'm doing wrong. So I definitely need to, regroup and, plan, restructure, and everything. If you start developing your mindset in terms of how you look at failure, you're going to go a long way because failure is not the point when you're supposed to quit. I feel like failure is the point where you're supposed to, re-strategize and find something that works better,